Uh, Here's first question. In your childhood or as a kid, right? Even if you didn't get it, in your mind today, what was that toy at Christmas that either you wanted or everybody on the playground, everybody at school wanted, everybody on the coast, Oxnard, shout out to the 805. What was that toy or thing that in your childhood was like, yo, we all want this for Christmas back in the 70s, mid 70s ish?
I started out this broadcast saying how I'm different and, I was okay being a loner. I've always been that way. Like, hey, man, I'm good. Give me, this and that, and I'm okay. Um, as a kid, if my parents were wealthy, you know, the one gift that I wanted, I knew I wasn't going to get it. Matter of fact, my parents told me, man, you ain't getting that mess. You see how much that thing costs? And it was expensive. It was, you know, we used to get the Sears, J.C. Penney catalog, Christmas catalogs, and I would always look at it and just be like, man, if I could only have this, man. If my mom and dad was rich, if they could only get me this for Christmas. And I used to just look at it. I put everything else away, go to sleep, wake up the next day, be looking at it like, man, that would be cool, dude. Man, I hope my dad gets a raise or something. I hope he, gets a bonus or whatever, because, man, I really want this gift. This would be awesome. I never got it. And all I wanted, for Christmas, really, and it's going to shock you, but all I wanted was this doll that you could put on your lap, and you could make them talk on your lap. You could, hi, my name is Freddie. My name is Freddie. What's your name? My name is Freddie. What? Don't put me away. Don't put me away. That's all I wanted, man. That's all I wanted. I wanted that with the suitcase. That's all I wanted. I was like, can I have that? Can I get that? And that bad boy was expensive. I think 1975, 1980, I think probably was like, I'm thinking like $300. Ain't no way in the world, moms and dad. It was like, you cute. I know you got that look on your face like, too. like your pops just told you. Your pops just told you he wanted to be a zookeeper.
Now, what you're saying is in your childhood, 70s ish, decade, you wanted a dummy, like a ventriloquist type dummy.
Yeah,
Wow.
bad. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think now you can understand when I say, yeah, I've always been a loner. I'm cool with being lonely because I'm never lonely. There was stuff going on in my head as a kid that, even.
There's some stuff going on in your head, all right. There was some stuff. There were some things that needed to get ironed out. A dummy for Christmas? Oh, boy.
Oh,
This dude said a dummy.
Oh my goodness. You got me crying, dude, on camera. That ain't good. Hey man, you got me to be vulnerable. Hey, bro.
I'm not hating on it. I would have never, I could have never guessed that. That's all.
You would have never guessed that what I just.
No.
Yeah, man, that was deep down in there.
But, even though I would have never guessed that, I'm honestly not as shocked or surprised because, in my opinion, that's a very, 70s ish, toy or gift. I wouldn't be surprised because I'm sure there are other people from your generation, if they didn't have one, they would have been interested in having a dummy or.
Step up, put it in the comments, y'all. Don't let me be out here by myself. Because my son looking at me, he looking at me strange right now.
Based on our viewers, as I look at the stats and whatnot, you might be by yourself, but
we need to build your audience, brother.
Oh, it's my audience now. Now it's my audience.
Yeah, dude. We need to build your audience, brother.
What I was gonna say was, I do believe that there are many other, specifically men, because I think that's a boy thing. Like, boys grow up really liking action figures and stuff like that, those type of things. Uh, I do think there are other men in your age range and from your demographic that would say the same thing. And I only say that because if you think about like the 70s, the whole decade, back then, especially children's television, man, we talking Sesame Street, Electric Company, you know what I'm saying? And then even if we're not talking like actual puppets and stuff, if you go to even just the cartoons, which were some of them were actual figures like Gumby, what's the one David and Goliath? What was that? The kid with the little dog or
Yeah,
something?
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, them was all shows where it was based on like physical things. Like it was based on a little Play-Doh figure. It was based on a puppet.
Imagination built.
That's what I'm saying. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, all them puppets on there. It only makes sense that you'd be influenced by that to not only either want to do that, but be like, man, I want to own something like that. So it's not a shocker. It's funny, but it's not a shocker.
Man, maybe
Yeah.
you should have been a psychologist growing up.
You know, you say that in a funny way, but when I was in college though, I really enjoyed my psychology classes. Like I loved my psych stuff because to me, I really enjoy and this probably leans into the psychology thing. Growing up being someone who was a reader and even still like to read, my favorite things to read about are people. I love biographies. I don't like autobiographies. I like biographies because I like to learn about someone's life, how they grew up, their legacy. And it could be somebody that maybe is not even a person that would normally, be in my interest group or area. But if I'm just interested in one aspect of your life, now I want to know everything. I want to know, you know what I'm saying? So to hear that, to hear you say that was a toy or a Christmas gift I really wanted as a kid, and then to know the time frame you grew up in the mid 60s, late 60s, and all the way in the 70s, it's like, well, yeah, that was the entertainment for kids back then. So I'm not surprised because, like, just as a quick segue, we can go back to you if you like. But for me, growing up, my main Christmas gift or thing that I wanted every year, usually, uh, was to this day I'm somewhat of a sneakerhead. I love my shoes, love sneakers, right? As my father, every year I was either asking, you know, through the late '90s, early 2000s was a pair of Jordans, right? Got to have some J's. And then once Michael Jordan retired, it was LeBron's or Kobe's, right? Which makes sense. Listen, I'm growing up in the '90s. Michael Jordan is that dude. Air Jordan is everywhere. Space Jam, all that, right? Michael Jordan retires. Now I got Kobe on the Lakers with Shaq. Kobe's still playing, but then LeBron comes out of nowhere and he's the next great thing. And now I'm like, hey, I need a pair of LeBrons. So it only makes sense that someone who is, sports centered or sports minded, growing up in that time frame, '90s, 2000s, every year for Christmas, they want something that is related to that player or that athlete or sport. So for me, it makes sense. Just like your dummy situation,
A ventriloquist.
ventriloquist is a situation, however you want to word it, makes sense. So, you know, like I said, it's funny, but it's also, I think it's more common than we think. I don't think you a monolith in that. I think it's a lot of other dudes that grew up at that time and they like, hey, dude, I wanted a dummy too. So, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Hey, uh, I think, you know, that's why I believe, I do not only create characters and I enjoy programming that uses creativity and characters. I value those so much because I know what it takes to have an imagination to put that before the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To not only think about yourself, but think about two and three other characters, or four or five or six. That's why I even have a great deal of respect for Tyler Perry because, you have to have a creative mind to be able to write your scripts, write your characters, do all that he does. And, Great minds, not to say I'm great, I'm not putting my mind on there, but great minds are able to produce those type of things. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Thomas Edison and these cats, great minds, man. Just give them, let them sit at home. Just give them a piece of paper. Let them draw. Let him do his thing. It's be amazing what comes from him because his mind, the Lord has gifted these individuals. That's why I say I don't put my name there because I'm just using a fraction of what God gave me. Yeah, there's other things, but uh, I believe those who have those creative minds like that, who can make paintings and claymations and things like that, the architecture, when we see these, skyscrapers or homes, we see how some of these homes are built and, you know, like the mind. That person had to draw that out. That person, it was in his mind or in her mind, fashion designers, things of that nature. I've always valued that. I believe that came maybe from my mom's side of the family. I believe that came from my mom. She had her own fashion line. She had a retail boutique where she sold and she made dresses and wedding dresses for people. So I believe that side of my brain is very active and has always been active. It's just maybe I didn't have the platform or the opportunities that are necessary so that I can demonstrate that. So yeah, uh, you hit me with that one. That's a good question. That was hey man, hey, I like what you cooking, bro.
Well, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for appreciating that question and answering it honestly. And for the record, you are a great mind and have a great creative mind. So I know you're not gonna pat yourself on the back, but I'm gonna do it for you, just so you aware. Hey, you one of them dudes. Hey, we don't just call you the OG just because you got a little gray. You know what I'm saying? So